मुकल्लत और गैर मुकल्लत का इल्ज़ाम किसने लगाया? उसने कहा उम्मा की जो क़यादत है मुकल्लत के पास होगी, हम जैसे मोहम्मद हम मुकल्लत है और ये जो लश्कर तैयबा है हाफिज़ सईद है गैर मुकल्लत है। यानी कि उन्होंने ऐसी बहस छेड़ी थी जिसकी वजह से विदन पाकिस्तान एक ऐसा समा आ गया था कि जब ऐसे लगता था कि जहादी तंजीमें बाहर पर कुछ करें ना करें और पाकिस्तान में ना आपस में गुत्थम गुत्था हो जाए। और उसमें ख़ास किस्म का किरदार जो था वो जैसे मोहम्मद का था और ख़ास तौर पर मौलाना मसूद अज़हर का था। तो हमें जो इस मुल्क में हम जो रहने वाले हैं, जो हमने अपनी हिफाजत खुद करनी है, तो हमें सोचना पड़ेगा कि हमने
But we are ensuring the security of those who are moving around in Christchurch at this time.
The fourth person that was arrested, Prime Minister, you say this one principal had two associates.
Yes.
The fourth person, what have they?
They're not connected. They're not directly connected to the attack.
Arrested in Christchurch?
Sorry.
Are all the arrests in Christchurch?
That is my understanding, yes.
Can you tell us why they've been arrested?
In connection to the attacks today, or the individual that wasn't. That would be a question for Commissioner Bush. I'm not sure if that's something I'm able to share, but they're not anyone who is a threat to the public.
Think about the relationship of those arrested have to one another. Do they share the same ideology, or what is their...
Certainly that is the assumption that I would make at this stage. We've seen from one of the offenders that they have publicised their ideology. I have no reason to assume anything other than that those others who have been arrested would subscribe to the same ideology, which I can only describe as extreme.
New Zealanders?
What's your plan for visiting?
I'm not in a position to give away additional details on their citizenship at this stage, Barry.
Is there anything else about the IEDs, what they were, how they were disarmed, and whether there's any risk that there could be further?
You know, at this point, I think that's an opportunity to really acknowledge the work that the police are doing. You know, the apprehending of a suspect in an extremely volatile situation, really putting themselves at risk on our behalves, and I want to acknowledge that. Particularly also disarming the explosives that were, as I understand, attached to the suspects' cars. There were two of them. They have been disarmed now, but obviously that was a high-risk situation. Gives us an indication that there was a degree of planning around what has happened today.
Was there an intention for a suicide attack?
I cannot speculate around what the intention was, but again, it was attached to the suspects' vehicles.
Given the IEDs being out there?
Not at this stage.
Attached to an individual?
Yes. A message for anybody who, and the media around the world who are sharing that video and watching the live stream?
Look, my message would be, you know, we should not be perpetuating, sharing, giving any oxygen to this act of violence and the message that sat behind it. We should all be condemning, obviously, what has happened here today in the peaceful nation of New Zealand. And what all of us can at least do is ensure that we do not share, spread, or actively engage in that message of hate. We have been given assurance that online, at least those platforms where some of those images have been shared are actively being removed. But I just ask people, don't share them.
Can we can we still call ourselves a peaceful nation?
Yes. This is not who we are. This act was not a reflection of who we are as a nation. That is why so many New Zealanders, every New Zealander, I imagine, will be shocked by this today, because this isn't who we are. You know, this is something that all of us will utterly reject. And of course, it will take time to heal. And tonight our thoughts and our prayers need to be with those affected. But I'm sure, of course, that all of us want to retain the identity we have as a nation, because that's why those who live here live here.
Prepared as Prime Minister for this to happen in New Zealand?
Of course, our agencies always need to be prepared. We need to be vigilant. We need to ensure that if we have an act like this on our shores, that we respond quickly to give assurances to the public that we can protect them and that their safety is top of mind. So we are always prepared. Are we personally prepared for these things to happen? An event like this, of course, is always a shock, but for our agencies, we were ready.
Other countries around the world, when they've seen attacks like this, there have unfortunately been copycat attacks or kind of follow-up attacks. Is that a concern in New Zealand?
We must always be vigilant. Obviously, we've lifted our threat level from low to high. That's, of course, so that we can continue to give assurance to the public around their safety. It means we've heightened our response from our agencies at the border, at the airport. In fact, at every level, we have a heightened response. And again, that's so we can give that assurance of safety to the public.
Is he doing enough there are agencies doing enough in the lead up?
Certainly, as I say, of course, events like this, we always have preparations in place. And of course, we'll always be working to ensure that we've adequately responded.
Christchurch.
Yeah, I'm very keen to travel as soon as I can, but of course within reason, taking advice from the police around when I can do that in such a way that doesn't interfere with their operational work. My hope is that at the very latest that I'll be down there tomorrow.
You'd heard from Scott Morrison. Are there any world leaders around the world that have contacted you in the wake of this attack?
Look, some of that may have come directly to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade, but at least I know directly, certainly from Australia at this stage. Often messages are conveyed via social media as well, and I'm sure everyone would want to thank them for their thoughts and their offer of assistance.
Confirm that there was an IRD at the hospital, whether there were any shots fired or whether that was ever a shooting scene?
No, I haven't had any information that that confirms that at all. No.
That there was an IED found on an individual?
No, I cannot confirm that. Do feel free to put that question to the Commissioner.
So presumably you'll be having more meetings with our intelligence agencies to find out just what went on and why these people were missed. When are you going to be meeting with them again?
Look, I expect I'm likely to reconvene with them again this evening. You'll appreciate, Barry, that at the moment our immediate response is on ensuring the safety of those in Christchurch, ensuring that the police have everything they need from an operational perspective to secure the areas and be assured that everyone who should be in custody is, acknowledging that they have moved extremely quickly to have those individuals already in custody. Of course, we will continue to look at the details around the suspects and every element of this attack, but tonight it's about securing the safety of others.
Can you please clarify how many gunmen or gunwomen there were in this attack?
At this stage, again, as I say, 3 have been arrested. We have no reason to suspect at this stage there were others, but we haven't obviously ruled that out at this stage.
Did they all actually use firearms?
I cannot give you 100% assurance of that, but certainly all 3 are connected.
Will you be getting any additional security, or would there be any additional security at the Parliament?
Look, at this stage, obviously, I'm one of the members of Parliament that always has a security detail with me. Obviously, at a moment that we were informed of this situation, there was a slightly heightened presence, but I expect that soon that will probably resume back to my normal presence.
So just back on the previous question, it was separate offenders at Linwood and Hagley?
It was separate offenders who, look, I can't give specifics around who was directly involved at each mosque, and nor am I sure at this stage that that's detail that we're sharing. Do feel free to put the question to the Commissioner, though.
Can I just clarify?
Yes.
You might have answered this before, but police didn't have these people under active investigation or had them were aware of them?
That is my understanding.
Kiwis across New Zealand who want to do something for the Muslim community currently.
Sorry.
Do you have any advice to the Kiwis across New Zealand who want to do something for the Muslim community currently?
Yeah, at this stage, advice has been given to those who would usually wish to worship at their local mosque, that for the time being, they're being asked to just not to congregate there. But in time, my hope would be that the outpouring of compassion and support that I know New Zealanders will want to show it to them. Show it to the members of the community who sought to worship safely and who were the victims of this attack today. And I know New Zealanders will want to do that.
Canada is Australian born, but do you know how long he has been in New Zealand?
My understanding that it is a relatively short period of time since last entry into New Zealand. Again, I don't want to get into too many details around that because that's still an emerging picture.
Nationality watch list where you do know that he didn't have any prior convictions?
Sorry.
So if he wasn't on any...
What I'll say at the moment is that they weren't on a watch list. Again, I'm cautious around how much more I say, given that we have individuals in custody and I don't want to jeopardise the case. But that may be detail that the Commissioner may be willing to share. All right, everyone. Look, I'll look to reconvene and give you any additional insights I can tomorrow. We'll be keeping everyone updated. My plan is to get to Christchurch as early as I can and as soon as the police are happy for me to do so.